As the old song goes, I do like to be beside the seaside. As a baker, I'm always on the lookout for new ingredients to add to my repertoire of pies and puds, and the sea is one of nature's most generous resources. But it's not fish I'm after today. I'm interested in something more unusual: seaweed.
Well, I'm here today in a beautiful part of the world on the east coast of Scotland. St Andrews is about 4 miles that way, and the day is glorious. Now, I'm here today to meet a lady who knows a little bit about seaweed. Now, we all know it goes into savoury, but apparently she says it goes into sweet things too. I'm not convinced.
Fiona Houston has been harvesting seaweed here for the last 2 years and is building a small business selling it not as a vegetable but as a spice. Something that adds flavour rather than being the whole dish.
What a fantastic place.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
I think I brought the weather with me, actually, to be honest.
No, it's always sunny in Fife.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it is.
It might be cold, but it's sunny.
If anyone can convince me to bake with seaweed, I hope Fiona can.
I know it's used in savoury, but seaweed in sweets? Really?
Yeah. What seaweed has in it is its natural flavour enhancer. It has in it umami, which is the 5th taste. The other 4 tastes are sweet, salty, sour and bitter. And then you've got this 5th taste, which adds a new taste dimension to your food.
For me, it'd be fascinating, because personally, I've never heard of it before, and I'm dying to try it.
Yes. Well, we're going to go down and show you.
I've never used seaweed in anything, but I'm trusting Fiona that what I imagine is just salty and chewy will work in a dessert. She takes me umami flavour hunting.
I told you the tide was coming in.
It is coming in. Not the easiest place to get to, is it? So is this your place of work then, Fiona?
Yeah, it is. Pretty nice, eh?
It's a supermarket shelf then to you?
Absolutely. There's lots of different varieties of edible seaweeds here. So what we have here is some carrageen, which is traditionally used as a setting agent. It's got gelatin in it, so use that in puddings that need setting. These brown seaweeds here, these kelps, they're all very rich in umami, and they've got quite a high sugar content. There's quite a high carbohydrate in these. Natural sugars.
It's like rubber, isn't it?
That is there, yeah. Of course, we're not using it like this. We dry them so that they're easy to use. And there's another one which is about a bit further out, which I'm not going to take you to.
I haven't got my scuba kit with me, otherwise I would.
Which are 2 other kelps which have a very high sugar content. And this dulse here, which is really interesting in desserts with chocolate and coffee and things.
And this is sweet?
Well, it's got some sweetness in it. They're all different varieties of sweetness. The kelps have got more natural sugars in than that one does.
Fiona enlists the help of Rory and his handmade boat to float the seaweed ashore. They have permission from the estate owners here and other places around Scotland to land seaweed, taking just what they need. Fiona doesn't just use seaweed straight from the sea, it has to dry first to release the umami flavour.
We're going to take some of this fresh dulse.
Yeah.
And we're going to put it in here. And we're actually going to roast it. This is a very traditional way of eating dulse on the east coast of Scotland.
Okay.
While the dulse is roasting, Fiona's got something else for me to try.
This is the sugar kelp. And that, see that powder on there?
Yeah.
That is the umami powder.
The initial flavour is not too dissimilar to salt meets a chilli. It feels like heat, and then you realise it's salt, and then that goes as well. And what's left is, there's no taste. I'm not getting taste, I'm getting a sensation on my tongue.
Yeah.
Which is different.
Yeah.
At last, the dulse is ready to taste.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Where's seaweed been all my life? There's so many things now that I'm thinking I could work with on this level.
This is the thing with seaweed. Once you get into it, your mind goes in so many different directions.
To show me how versatile it can be, Fiona's brought with her some examples of cakes seasoned with seaweed. And I'm keen to see how it tastes.
Okay.
chocolate brownie cheesecake. And this has got a sweet alaria in it, and it's also got the dulse on the top to combine with the chocolate.
I am getting quite strong flavours coming through in there. And I'm trying to break it down in my mind to find this, because I know what they're like individually.
Yeah.
And I can't find it.
Well, that's the sort of
Because
the
it's
background.
enhanced, that's its job.
Yeah.
Its job is to enhance the flavours that are currently there.
Next is a lemon polenta cake, with seaweed both in the main mixture and sprinkled on top.
Lemon's such a strong flavour
Yeah.
that all that's doing is enhancing that lemon. It's making the lemon more lemony.
Yeah.
The seaweed definitely accentuates these dishes. It's not a flavour you can detect, it just makes things inexplicably delicious. But it's not until Fiona shows me a selection of crumble toppings blended with different seaweeds that I find something I can really work with.
It's delicious, warm. It's sweet. It's sweet. How much sugar did you have with that?
50 grams of sugar for all of it.
Yeah, that's quite low actually.
It's amazing how much sweetness is coming from something that I thought would be salty.
I tried to come here with an open mind, but in the back of my mind I still had the thought, it's seaweed, it's salt. But in fact, it's much, much more than that. And I'm now going to come up with a crumble recipe using seaweed.
Excellent.
In and on.
In and on.
Yeah.
Good.
What Fiona has shown me today is a new ingredient that isn't a flavour in itself, but something that enhances the flavour it's with, and I'm going to give it a go in my next pun. I've invited Fiona back to my kitchen to help me bake with my newfound ingredient, seaweed. This crumble is full of nutty and earthy flavours. I'm hoping enhanced by some of Fiona's natural seaweed flavour.
The thing that got me was the fact that it works with sweet and savoury.
Yeah, that's what people don't expect. It works really well in baking and sweet puddings because it's got natural sugars in it.
What I'm going to do here at the moment, I'm just chopping up some apples. I'm just going to prepare them for the crumble. Now this is quite tart, and you want something that's sort of going to balance with that as well. So the crumble on the top is quite sweet, but I'm also going to use that seaweed in there as well, which I think should blend quite well, doesn't it?
It's got some smoky, salty notes, and it's got a seaweed in it that's got quite a high sugar content. So it's got a mixture of sweet and salty.
And it is a much call for it.
When we started doing this a few years ago, people thought we were completely mad, and now all interest in seaweed is increasing.
They're laughing on the other side of the faces now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Heat the chopped apples in a pan and add some butter.
I'm just going to stir this round and basically soften up the apples. And it should take no more than 5 to 10 minutes max. Now, once it's softened, you place the whole thing into a cooling bowl like this. So it ends up just al dente. There's a little bit of bite in there, but not much.
Then, add your blackberries and transfer them to a baking dish.
Spread them all out. Pop that down there.
This is one of my favourite crumble toppings. Even if you don't have seaweed, pumpkin and sunflower seeds make it earthy and nutty.
Once the oils are released from this when they're roasting, I think they're going to add something to it. So a rough chop of the seeds. Now add that to the mixture. Begin to break that down again.
Add oats and some dark brown sugar and mix it up.
And then finally, the best ingredient of the lot.
The seaweed blend.
Now, how much did you put in of this into yours?
I probably put in more than you're doing, because I really wanted you to taste the different flavours of the seaweed. I think I put in about 2 dessert spoons.
I was going to put that in.
Yeah.
That's about the same.
Yeah.
Give that a good mix together.
People ask us all the time, well, how much do I use? And it's the same as if you're using any other seasoning. You season to taste.
Yeah.
So you can either put it in your crumble or your breads or whatever and put in enough so that, because you like the taste, or you can put in just enough so it lifts the other flavours in the dish.
I want to be able to have that hint of a taste, but also I want the seeds to come out. I want the pumpkin seed. I want the sunflower seeds to come out. I want the oats to be heightened. I want the wholemeal flour to smell
beautiful and earthy to go with that beautiful
that'd be
apple
great.
and blackberry base. Now the whole dish is done. Now that needs to go inside an oven at 180 for about 30 to 35 minutes. I'm going to pop this in there now. Let that roast away. This is how it comes out. That, for me, is a great crumble. That's an apple and blackberry crumble with a seaweed topping. This is a great recipe with seaweed, and it's pretty good without too. The nutty, crunchy, wholesome topping complements blackberry and apple perfectly.